We've got a couple of great guests today that have been independently modelling lifelong learning, and that's what we're sort of focusing on today, because lifelong learning is something that we all really should be striving to do, especially with technology changing as rapidly as it does. For our first guest in term 2, we're heading to Sydney's north to Eastwood Public School. It's a large school of about 900 students. As well as teaching year 4, he's also the school events photographer. He does Zoom live stream coordination, and he's the school website manager. In fact, if there's anything to do with technology, he's probably involved as well. So please welcome Joshua Bowman to Yammer Hot Spots.
You got Josh, is there anything you don't do?
Oh, there it is.
I'm terrible at dancing, and I could not hold a beat to save myself. So music and dancing are definitely not my areas of expertise.
Excellent. Yeah. Before becoming a school teacher, I believe you worked in the multimedia industry for many years, both in production and training. What kinds of things were you involved in, and what made you choose public school teaching in the end?
Yeah, so my previous career before becoming a teacher, I was lucky enough to kind of get into the animation industry, the 3D animation industry. So I spent a number of years working at some small studios in Adelaide and 6 months working for a studio in Melbourne. And we got to work on short films and advertising and console games. We did some TV series. And even some educational content for the South Australian Department of Education. So that was kind of the production side of my previous career. And then sort of, 2010 to 2012, I got asked back to my old TAFE where I'd done all my animation training. And I worked part-time there, designing curriculum and lecturing and mentoring, and working on another TV series on the side as well. And that was sort of where I started getting into the education side of the animation stuff. And that was really, really exciting. I really enjoyed doing that. And then I came over to Sydney at the end of 2011 for a job over here working on a TV series. And I decided after about a month of doing that and crazy hours and expectations on that animation just really wasn't sort of helping me to achieve those life goals that I'd gotten into it for, which is to sort of inspire kids and to build them up and to help them think more clearly about the world and different things. And so I kind of put together a big list of what I was wanting to achieve in life. And then just kind of looked at that and I was like, that's really kind of just being a teacher in a classroom. So I decided to have a look around for some courses and found Sydney Uni and decided to apply there. So I decided then to kind of move over and start teaching, to start training to be a teacher at Sydney Uni. And then while I was doing that, I was also working at another local uni, teaching and lecturing again and designing their courses for animation and acting. So, yeah, so I had a very full kind of sort of previous
It's a different sort of pathway to most people.
Yeah, so and that's what led me into teaching.
Yeah, great. A primary school with 900 students is quite the change. What types of technologies can students at your school expect to be using on a regular basis?
Yeah, so we've now implemented BYOD into Eastwood Public Schools. So in 2017, when I got here, we had 25 laptops in stage 3 that were just terrible. It took about 10 minutes to start them up and get into Windows. And then we had 12 old iPads that you could get into the browser and everything else would crash. So that was all we had when I came in. So fortunately, we had a new principal come in 2018 who was very receptive to getting technology into classrooms. And so a colleague and I, who were part of the technology committee, pushed for BYOD, and she went and visited a whole bunch of schools and we got a lot of information on how to set that up. And then in 2019, we were able to get that set up into stage 3. And the principal at the time and the relieving deputy principal for K2 made sure that there are enough laptops purchased so that any kid who didn't have BYOD could still get access to a laptop. So now that we're into 2021, we had a complete refresh of our senior executive last year, and they've made sure that every single teacher gets a laptop. and that year 4 now, that's the year that I'm in currently, gets one-to-one laptops, and year 3 is getting closer to one-to-one laptops. And we have a stage set of 30 iPads that we can use. So yeah, so we've managed to really boost the technology from when I first got here in 2017 up to something that is actually really good to work with in the classrooms.
It's a good turnaround, and the laptops for teachers is something that really stimulates their ability to do things more effectively in the classroom. So that's great.
Well, we're going to be getting rid of all the desktop PCs in classrooms, and the principal's really determined to get rid of the desktop PCs and just have teacher laptops to hook up to the HDMI. So yeah, that's been really good.
Get in contact with me, wireless screen sharing, Josh.
Done.
Sounds fantastic what you've done. And now you've started working with the fun stuff of Minecraft Education Edition in 2019. Thank you. Welcome on board that one. It's such a fantastic little unit.
It is.
You've recently shared a couple of tutorial videos on Yammer that we've linked on the Hot Spot website. Say that quickly.
Yep.
What tricks and activities are involved in convincing students that it's not just a game, and that I can really do some practical learning with it?
Yeah, well, that's the big challenge, actually, because they've come from home where they use Minecraft and it is a game, and they're all out there doing player versus player combat and doing all these different things. So when it comes to kind of introducing it in the classroom, I end up actually pulling out a pencil and saying, okay, well, what do we use a pencil for? So I'm just like, okay, well, we can use a pencil for writing a story, or doing a maths problem, or doing some art, or poking someone with it to have some fun. So when I tell them that Minecraft is exactly the same, we can use it for fun, like poking someone with a pencil, or we can use it to tell a story, or we can use it to create some art or do some maths with it. It's just a tool that we're using for different purposes in different circumstances. And I put down some ground rules to say, to make sure that they're on task, which is no survival mode, no player versus player combat, and no weapons in their hands at any point. And they accept that, and that we get on with doing the activities, and they're really engaged with it. So
brilliant.
If we've got time, I can show you sort of a slideshow that I'd take the students through for a particular activity.
Yeah, sure.
Just to sort of
that'd be really, really good. Yeah.
So if you're
happy
for me
to self-regulate their parameters, or do you?
They actually do really well here. We're pretty lucky with the kids we have at Eastwood, I've got to admit. So we have certain kids who will turn their screen brightness right down to try and hide that they're playing Minecraft. And they'll do all kinds of little tricks. But the thing is, the other kids are really determined to do the right thing. And they'll usually always let me know if somebody's off task, so I can put in some penalties. And because they don't want to lose their Minecraft time, if they are off task and they get a sort of a 3 strikes warning. If they are off task over 3 times, then they actually just get banned from Minecraft for the rest of the term. So that's a pretty big incentive for them to make sure they're doing the right thing. I really get onto that behaviour stuff straight away, so that they know that there's no mucking.
There's a lot to be said about self-regulating as well, rather than trying to use the Minecraft classroom to control them.
That's it.
Do the right thing, and you have the privilege of using it.
Yeah.
So, and in terms of your own learning, what new things are you interested in? And I think this could be a very long list. And how do you go about learning something new?
Yeah, it is a very long list. I think I've just got a real natural curiosity for just about everything. So I feel like there's just not enough time in life to learn everything that I want to learn. So I think at the moment when I came into teaching, coding started to become a bigger thing for me. I'd sort of seen it and been interested in it previously, but it never really clicked. And then coming into education, it just sort of became something that I really wanted to understand, to be able to build tools and things like that for the classroom. And so I started learning JavaScript back in 2017, and that's been an ongoing process, doing web apps. And then recently, over the summer break, I got into the PlayStation 4 and was playing a game called Little Big Planet 3, which is a STEM game, which is all about building and using very sort of conventional things like wood, or felt or things like that, with a little bit of coding thrown in as well. So I've been able to make some pretty cool stuff with that, and started doing some coding with that to introduce kids to doing some random number generating things and that kind of stuff. So that's kind of what I've been looking at recently. But I get brain overload really quickly with new learning. So I generally would tackle something for maybe 20 minutes. And I'm literally like brain overload in 20 minutes. It's that fast for me. So I tend to do 20 minutes of learning and then walk away for 3 or 4 hours and go and watch a movie or go for a walk or do something else entirely. And then when I feel
a lot of this just-in-time learning is really the way that adults need to pick new things up. They want to try and master a particular small skill, and just follow the tutorial or the guide to help them achieve that.
Yep.
So you're really an adult. Your child in an adult's body, eh? I remember Brickman last night saying he saw his 8-year-old self wanting to play with the Lego things on Lego Masters last night. Yes.
Yeah. I feel like I haven't. I guess I've always just been like this, and it's never changed since I've been a little kid. So that's just been how I'm always questioning everything, which frustrates people because I'm constantly asking and trying to dig down into why everything works the way it does.
You weren't a why child, were you?
Pardon?
Why? You weren't a why child, were you?
So much. Yeah. I was that kid that just annoyed teachers with all the questions.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Did you want to quickly show us?
Yeah, sure. Yep. So I'll just share my screen, and what are we? There we go. So can you guys see my screen here now? Is that showing? Yep. So here's something that I was working on with the Year 5-6 class a couple of years ago with designing sustainable food productions for the food sustainability unit. And so we went through the ABC website and had a look at there's a really great Catalyst, I think, series or something like that, where they were looking at food sustainability. And we used that to kind of look at modern technology and that kind of thing. And then got them to actually build their own idea of what a sustainable farm might look like in Minecraft. And they had to have it automatically get the crops repped through either putting water in or something else to wash it all away. And then they could have something to go in and actually plant it. And so we'd have mine carts underneath and all that kind of stuff to collect all the grain and things like that. So they had an absolute blast. And that was the first time that I ran Minecraft. So it was all a big experiment. Wow. But they really, really enjoyed it, just the open-endedness of it. And I used a lot of YouTube videos to onboard them in the process and get them going off and watching Minecraft YouTubers that were specifically talking about sustainable farms that you could build in Minecraft. And they sort of just took to it like a duck to water and really enjoyed that process. So what I can do is I'll post a couple of video links for everyone to watch after we're done on the hotspots, so that you can have a look at sort of what I was able to achieve over the years with a couple of projects.
An amazing modelling tool, isn't it, Minecraft?
It is. So there's unfortunately a bit of a bug at the moment in the current version where blocks seem to disappear. So I'm hoping that either in the next version they're able to fix it. I downloaded the beta and it still isn't fixed. So fingers crossed they get to it before the official version comes out. But for the most part, it's pretty solid. And the kids absolutely love it. So I get them to upload their models to Teams, and then Teams has its own viewer, 3D model viewer, and you can just click on them and it shows up. So it's fantastic. It's a really great tool. Really good integration.
We've got a link to your channel on the Yammer Hot Spots webpage, and there's also a link to a couple of resources that you've posted there for science, using Minecraft in science, as well as that food tech one. So great.
Oh, cool. So you've posted those already.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Awesome.
All good. Joshua, thank you very much for joining us. I know we went over time, and thanks for giving us that extra time. But
thanks for the time. I really appreciate the work you guys are doing. It's fantastic. All the stuff that you're sending out and all the training that you're doing. It's been really great to learn things from you guys and to see that as well. So thank you.
That's great to hear that feedback. Thank you.
Sharing community.